Energy when okay.
So coming to materials and resources, chapter 6. In this, we'll be discussing about ongoing purchasing and waste policy, facility maintenance and renovation policy. Again, these comes as prerequisites. Then comes the purchasing, ongoing purchasing of lamps and purchasing of facility maintenance and renovation. These three you can consider as one set of purchasing credits. Then comes the solid waste management, ongoing and solid waste management, facility maintenance and renovation. So these two. So the overall you can break it down into three parts. So when I look at it, materials and resources, first prerequisite, ongoing purchasing and waste policy, facility maintenance and renovation policy. These two are required basically. Next comes purchasing ongoing, purchasing of lamps, each one point, purchasing of facility maintenance and renovation, regular part of it, right? For any building, existing building, you keep on doing renovations, correct? So that
Right.
it is 2 points. Next comes solid waste management ongoing, 2 points. Solid waste management facility maintenance and renovation. Here also you see C3 and C5 are almost same. But only thing is there we are talking about purchasing, here we are talking about solid waste management.
Solid waste.
2 points each. Okay. Now coming to the prerequisite, ongoing purchasing and waste policy. In this, the objective is about to reduce the environmental harm from materials purchased. Materials that are purchased, used and disposed of in the operations within the buildings. To reduce the environmental harm from the materials that we are purchasing it, we are using it and we are disposing it into the environment of the operations within the buildings. Responsible are owners and managers. Here coming to establishment period. This prerequisite goes generally into establishment period. Yeah. Environmentally preferable purchasing. Have in place an environmentally preferable purchasing policy for products that are purchased during the regular operations of the building. Means it's basically we need to create a policy and then implement it. What is that ongoing purchases? The 5 most purchased product categories, that is based on total annual purchases. Means from your building, you need to see what are those top 5 with respect to cost, and then you will be categorizing that. And what is that? Paper, toner cartridge, binders, batteries, desk accessories, lamps for indoor and outdoor.
Batteries for what?
Sorry?
Batteries, this remote cells batteries and all.
Yeah, it could be any kind of batteries. Again, for UPS batteries also will be there, right?
Yeah.
You have laptop batteries. It could be any kind of battery because everything comes under that, na?
Right.
Hardwired portable fixtures, food required for schools and hospitals only. Hospitality, not hospital. Food that is required only for schools and hospitality. So what is this durable goods? Office equipment, appliances and audio visual equipment, electric powered equipment. These are the 2 durable goods.
Okay. Not the regular. Okay.
Yes. Next comes the policy should address the criteria in the following credits, that is again materials and resources credit, purchasing ongoing and purchasing of lamps. The policy must cover at least those product purchases within the building and site management's control. What is this? Solid waste management. Establish storage locations for recyclable materials, including mixed paper, corrugated cardboard, glass, plastics, and metals. What is it here? Establish storage locations for recyclable materials, that is mixed paper, corrugated cardboard, glass, plastics, and metals. Establish safe storage areas for batteries and mercury containing lamps. How are we maintaining this? This is another kind of a project, right? Where so you segregate these recyclable materials.
In my company, we put 3 garbage chutes for recyclable stuffs like paper cups, cardboards and all, plastic separate, and metals we keep it as separate and like weekly or monthly, depends on the quantity. We just scrap it. We sell it through the scrapper. The scrap people,
Okay.
they collect
So
it.
basically, based on your facility, you are dividing this into three parts. One is
Yeah,
the general waste, one is the recyclable, and the other one is the metal waste.
yeah. And another thing is there is a rule in Ajman free zone, and the big skip, the skips provided by the Ajman free zone.
Yes,
If
yes.
you have non-journal thing like chemical, or for example, we have any civil construction inside the company, or and that civil scrap we have, for that we have to take an additional that skip to dump the stuff in that, so they will collect that. They won't allow to mix with the journal stuff.
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, that is also good. Huh?
Yeah, and for electronic waste, what we do, we collected, and we called Bia Sharjah. They collect the electronic stuff, they provide the certificate, and they do this recycling of that stuff.
Yeah, that is also another good thing. Yeah. So now, next continuation have in place an environmentally preferable solid waste management policy that addresses reuse, recycling, or composting of product purchased during regular operations of the building, which includes three things. One is ongoing waste, the five most purchased product categories based on total annual purchases. Again, food for e-bomb schools, hospitality, and multifamily. Whereas durable goods, again, office equipment, appliances, and audiovisual equipment, electric powered equipment, and hazardous waste, that is the third category. Safe disposal of batteries, lamps, indoor, outdoor hardware, and portable fixtures. Yeah. The policy must cover at least those product purchases within the building and site management's control.
I have one question like this operation plus maintenance. When you're doing operation plus maintenance of buildings, like for example, my company, we have office, we have warehouses, right? Warehouses
Yes.
comes under category, that category also. And in warehouses, we do store raw materials and finished goods, and it has a HVAC system, some has a normal system. So, maintaining that, if the disposable of any raw material comes, will this lead O plus M covers that?
Raw material, why you will dispose it?
Yeah, if it's
Raw.
out of shelf life, for example.
So no, raw material is two parts. One is either you are buying a raw material in the sense you are using that material for producing something else, right? Or
Yeah, yeah.
that is an extra material that is left out as a byproduct
Mhm,
during the generation and it becomes a waste, correct? Either
mhm.
it will be waste or it could be a material that is used for producing something as an input or a waste. Yes?
Right, right,
Yeah, so either it falls into this category or that category.
right, right. And whatever the renovation and maintenance we do for the warehouses,
Yeah, that is there, no? In the upcoming credits, we will be discussing that only.
right,
Purchasing
right,
of facility maintenance and renovation is there, right?
right, right.
So, in addition to the requirements above, retail projects should promote environmentally responsible sourcing of retail merchandise through one of the four following options. What is that? Supply chain survey. Establish a supply chain survey. The survey should collect information from each supplier regarding what social equity practices, energy and carbon reduction measures, material selection practices for products, packaging and distribution, waste reduction and waste management measures, human health protection measures. So these are a few of the supply chain surveys what we need to keep doing it. Second one as an option 2, supply chain education program for retail employees and or retail tenant representatives. What is happening? Retail employees and tenant
Okay.
representatives. Establish a program to inform employees and tenants engaged in merchandise, purchasing, packaging, and distribution about environmentally preferably supply chain strategies. What are these? Include the following in the education program: environmental best practices for supply chain decision, resources for additional information, and internal contacts for more information. So again, this is with respect to the education program. How are we going to go about it? Yeah. What are the topics we need to discuss? Then third option, supply chain environmental criteria list. What is that? Establish criteria for retail products, encouraging an environmentally preferable supply chain strategy, which addresses the purchasing, material handling and packaging, inventory, materials recovery during manufacturing, waste disposal, and product take back. Coming to option 4, sustainable purchasing education for customers. Install an educational program display for customers, displaying environmental initiatives that the store has implemented. What it is, the education display should incorporate information that includes the supply chain environmental criteria. That is listed in option 3. So in total, we have 4 different options. Option 1 is about survey. Second option is about education program. Third one is about the environmental criteria list that we need to conduct. And the fourth one is about purchasing education for customers.
Is there any standard guidelines or some standards or some standard formats through which we can perform this?
Yes, when you go into the guides, right, we have reference manuals and all that for each rating system. So there you will be getting more examples and detailed description.
Right.
So coming to the performance, maintain a high performing solid waste management program by conducting a waste stream audit of ongoing consumables at least once every 5 years, or by diverting 75% of the ongoing waste and achieving materials and resources credit solid waste management ongoing. What is it here? If you look at it, again, other credits are connected here. Maintain a high performing solid waste management program. Okay. What is that program? How do you do it? By conducting a waste stream audit. Conducting a waste stream audit of ongoing consumables at least once in 5 years. Every 5 years you need to do it. Or by diverting 75% of the ongoing waste and achieving material and resource credit solid waste management ongoing. See the condition here. Yes?
5%.
Yeah. Next, facility maintenance and renovation policy, second prerequisite. Objective is to reduce the environmental harms associated with the materials purchased, installed and disposed of during maintenance and renovation of buildings. To reduce the environmental harms that is associated with the materials that is purchased, installed and disposed of during maintenance and renovation of buildings. Establishment, have in place a facility maintenance and renovation policy that includes guidelines for renovation and maintenance activities using lead rating system strategies to be implemented at the discretion of the of the building owners, operators or tenants. Renovation activities include building improvements and tenants fit out. Maintenance activities include general repair and replacement. What is that? Renovation activities includes about building improvement and tenant fit out, whereas maintenance activities include general repair and replacement. The policy must cover at least those product purchases within the building and site management's control. What is this policy about? This policy addresses the purchasing, waste management and indoor air quality. Here we are making a policy that will take care of the maintenance and the renovation of the complete building and the procurement part of it. So coming to purchasing policy, we need to have a policy in place that is for products and materials purchased for facility maintenance and renovation activities. What is that? To what extent we have to go with it? Base building elements that are permanently or semi-permanently attached to the building. That is, what is that? Electrical, mechanical, plumbing components or any specialty item that is connected are executed, are excluded. What is happening? They are excluded. Second, exclude fixtures and equipment which are not considered as base building elements. Again, furniture and furnishings as well as components and parts needed to maintain them. So whatever the purchasing policy, we have it, we need to cover the complete procurement part of it. But at the same time, we need to exclude few of the mechanical things which are required for the maintenance of the building or for the proper functioning of the building, and at the same time
Why?
you need
Because
to.
these things are regular things which you have to maintain, like elevators, like plumbing, like mechanical, electrical.
Correct, that is based on the requirement, business requirement, you will be managing it, right? So that is why this is excluded, these are exclusions.
So that's why I got confused. Means as a facility maintenance and renovation, this must be included. Why it's out of that?
Okay, here we are talking about the purchasing policy.
Yeah,
Okay,
purchasing policy.
purchasing policy of material means the purchasing policy will have a strict condition that the particular material has to follow a sustainable life cycle. Okay,
Okay.
so maybe these materials which are not suitable, I mean, which are not part of the what we call that, sustainable
Life cycle product,
yes. So
LCA, life cycle of product.
there is another word which I missed it out. I'm trying to recollect that. So maybe if these materials are not part of it, then there would be different reasons for it, right?
Okay, because I'm not clear on that. That's why these are like, for example, if I see mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and elevator, these are the main areas where we are spending our money to in the company.
Correct.
Electrical, I
But
don't know what
again,
excluding in the electrical. Okay, lamps comes in that, tube lights and fixtures and other accessories. Uh, if I'm doing like cabling for ACs or for uh, laptops, computers, and mechanical anything, plumbing, of course, we have plumbing issues which we have to sort it out. And elevators we have to maintain. Like for example, in my company, we have or in the buildings also, wherever we are living, all buildings have their own AMCs.
see, there are two parts of it. One part is that already these are the fixtures or equipments that are already being tested and will have an approvals, particular standards. Then only they will be released into the market. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So again, why to have a repeated one when it is already there? That is one flow part of it. On the other hand, again, this must meet the customer needs and the business needs, right?
So, but if you, whenever, whatever product, in
In
whichever
GA
field,
also, in
yeah.
GA also, when you are discussing, we can
Mhm.
see that these MEP items are excluded from the calculations.
Mhm.
You remember this or not? I'm not sure. Generally, because one thing what we need to understand is you are looking only at your project or your facility
Yeah.
from your location. But this is a generic principle all across the globe.
Mhm.
So the regulatory standards are not the same all throughout.
Okay.
The regulatory conditions will be different, right? From country to country,
Mhm.
even state to state.
Right.
So now you got it?
Kind of.
Okay. Now the policy should address the MR credit purchasing, facility maintenance, and renovation part of it. Waste management policy for maintenance and renovation. Under this, have in place a waste management policy that address facility maintenance waste, renovation waste, furniture waste, right? So when we talk about these things, it is about facility maintenance waste. It has to address the safe storage and recycling diversion of waste associated with maintenance activities. Safety part of it. Safe
Mhm.
storage and recycling. Then coming to renovation waste, the policy should address the procedure for creating an individual plan for each renovation project. And each renovation project should establish waste diversion goals, target 5 materials for diversion, approximate the volume of the waste anticipated, and identify waste diversion strategies that need to be used. So here, what is that again? Renovation waste.
Mhm.
Here we are again targeting the 5 top diversion, right?
Mhm.
top 5 materials, right?
And strategies to be used.
Yes.
Difficult part of it.
Basically, we need to identify strategies in order to divert the waste from landfills.
Okay.
This
Whether we give
basically
it to any
diversion rate.
recycling company or find other ways to dispose of safely.
Yeah, basically it's about recycling, reusing it, and
Yeah.
waste to energy. Any of these things. Yeah. Basically, when it is said diversion, it is diversion from the landfill.
Right.
Furniture waste. The policy should address storage locations for furniture and reuse or recycling of furniture waste. Now, indoor air quality policy. Now, have in place an indoor air quality policy for FM and renovation activities. Again, maintenance activities implement the policy, renovation activities create an individual plan for each renovation project as outlined. What is it? Here, again, when you talk about indoor air quality, here we are talking about the recommended control measures for sheet metal and air conditioning. Sheet metal and air conditioning, National Contractors Association, SMACNA we call it.
SMACNA.
SMACNA. Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning, National Contractors Association.
Okay.
Guidelines for occupied buildings under construction, 2 edition 2007, ANSI or SMACNA 008, again, chapter 3. Protect stored on-site and installed absorptive materials from moisture damage. This is the second one. Third one, do not operate permanently installed AHUs, air handling equipments during construction unless filtration media with a minimum efficiency reporting value, MERV, if you remember. What is the MERV of your filters which you are using in your buildings?
I don't know.
You need to check that.
How to check that?
You ask the filter material, whoever is supplying MSDS sheet, ask them, the suppliers.
Handling equipment during construction unless filtration media with a minimum efficiency reporting value, MERV, okay.
Of 8 as determined by ASHA 52.2/2007. Again, with a rate of CEN standard EN 7792/002.
So I think the air condition or centralized AC one?
Centralized, no. Wherever the filters are coming. Generally, this comes in ducts and AHUs, I think. Wherever the filter media is used. Generally, everywhere it is there. Determination of the filtration performance are installed at each return air gills and return or transfer duct inlet opening such that there is no bypass around the filtration media. Develop a procedure to, before occupancy, replace all filtration media with the final design filtration media. Develop a plan to determine whether a flush out or air quality testing is needed after construction ends and all interior finishes are installed, but before occupancy. What is it? This is one of the important points. Develop a plan to determine whether a flush out or air quality testing is needed. Whether flush out or air quality testing is needed after the construction is completed and the interior finishes are installed, but before occupancy.
So basically before occupancy, they should perform air quality test.
Yes.
Whether it's harmful or it's unharmful for people to live over there. So they have to conduct indoor air quality monitoring.
Yes.
By any third party.
Correct.
So do buildings perform this here?
Yeah, they do it.
Mandatory in UAE or?
They do it.
They do.
Yeah.
Because in our company we do, in office we do also.
Yes.
In our company, we do on the sites as well as inside the office.
Oh, which one? Yeah. Air quality testing or flush out?
No, indoor air quality monitoring we do.
Okay. That is required for you people now because nearby you have all chemical, right? You're using chemicals.
We are doing because of our own safety procedures and system. And so in that, they do that culture thing also. Like they put some thing on that thing. So the culture develop after 24 hours and they do test of that also.
Oh, okay. So coming to purchasing policy ongoing, to reduce environmental harm, again from materials used in the operation and maintenance of buildings. Establishment, none, because we have already covered this in the first prerequisite. Coming to performance, it's a credit. You have to implement that. That is ongoing consumables. Purchase at least 60% by cost, the total ongoing consumables, and it should meet the following requirements. What is that? Include the product categories, identify under MR prerequisite. We have, if you remember, we have identified as a second point, right? Lamps are excluded from the calculation and each purchase can receive credit for each criteria met. Post-consumer recycled content. The content of purchases must meet or exceed the levels listed in US EPA Act comprehensive procurement guidelines. And these guidelines cannot get credit for their recycled content with no minimum.
Can get credit for their recycled content with no minimum.
Yeah. Means products not covered by the guidelines. Means even if you are not following that guidelines, can get a credit.
Okay.
If there is a recycle content in it.
Okay. Right.
Extended use. Batteries must be rechargeable. Toner cartridges for laser printers must be remanufactured. Sustainable agriculture. Food and beverages must be labeled USDA, Organic Food Alliance Certificate, Rainforest Alliance Certified, and Protected Harvest Certified, Fair Trade or Marine Stewardship Council's Blue Eco Label, Canada Organic logo in accordance with organic product regulations. So all these are the different standards which you need to remember for this sustainable agriculture. One is USDA Organic, second one is Food Alliance Certified, third one Forest Alliance Certified, fourth one Protected Harvest Certified, fifth one Fair Trade, sixth one is Marine Stewardship Council Blue Eco Label, seventh one is Canada Organic logo, right? Then with organic product regulations of SOR-2009 or labeled with the European Community Organic Production
So
logo in
almost
accordance.
sustainable agriculture.
Yes.
My God. Okay.
So these are all the different agencies which will certify the products. So local sourcing of food and beverages. The food and beverages must contain raw materials harvested and produced within 100 miles of the site. And bio-based materials, bio-based products must meet the Sustainable Agriculture Network, which means bio-based raw materials must be tested using ASTM test method D6866 and legally harvested as defined by the exporting and receiving country. Excludes hide products such as leather and other animal skin material. Paper and wood products, where paper and wood products must be certified by the Forest Stewardship Council or USGBC approved equivalent. What is happening here? Paper and wood. You remember FSC certified wood. Forest Stewardship Council certified wood. You remember we discussed in GA.
Yeah, some certified would be discussed. Like
Yeah. Electric powered equipment. Here purchase at least 40% by cost electric powered equipment. That means the criteria that product category specified in MR prerequisite means from the prerequisite list you have to take it out where ongoing purchasing and waste policy where it creates a phase out plan to replace the remaining products with compliant equipment at the end of their useful life. Phase out plan has to be clearly defined because there are times where now the new concept that is coming up is buyback policy means after 5 years of 10 years of span the supplier will say I will buy back the material and replace it with a new one.
okay,
EPEAT rating, sorry.
Yeah, okay. So this is for electric power equipments. They do like
Even
that.
for carpet, wooden flooring and all these things also. Because they'll take it back and reuse as a raw material to produce again. Recycled. The equipment must have a silver electronic product environmental assessment tool, EPAT rating or better, Energy Star rating, If the equipment does not yet fall under the EPAT rating system, it must be Energy Star qualified or performance equivalent for projects outside the US. So there are two ratings. One is EPAT rating and energy rating. Coming to schools and hospitality, here it is about 25% of the cost of the total combined food and beverages purchase must meet one of the following criteria. That is, again here in this you are excluding, when you talk about food and beverages, you need to exclude the wine, beer, liquor, all this from the credit calculations.
Okay.
But what is that you need to consider? Sustainable agriculture, again, whatever we have discussed in the previous slide. Again, local sourcing, it is about 100 within the 100 miles or 160 kilometers of the site. So this is how we will be achieving the first credit or 1 point. Now comes the purchasing of, that is purchasing ongoing, right? Previous one. Now this is purchasing of lamps. In purchasing of lamps, again, what to establish and maintain a toxic material source reduction program to reduce the amount of mercury brought onto the building site through purchases of lamps. Because lamps is another part where again procurement personnel, owners, managers, architects, and contractors. So establishment is again zero, none. Whereas coming to performance, implement the lighting purchasing plan, which will specify the overall building average of 70 picograms of mercury per lumen hour. What is it? Here the calculation of lumen comes into existence. You need to follow the limitations or less for all mercury containing lamps that is purchased for the building and associated grounds within the project boundary. Means at each and every corner within the project boundary, whatever the lamps that you are using, you need to take the content of the mercury level within that. Include lamps for both indoor and outdoor fixtures as well as both hardware and portable fixtures. Lamps containing no mercury may be counted only if their energy efficiency at least equals that of their mercury containing counterparts. What is your understanding here? Lamps that do not contain mercury can be counted or may be counted only if their energy efficiency is equivalent to their mercury containing counterparts. Yes.
Right.
Now coming to the next one, to reduce environmental effect. This is for renovation part of it. Facility maintenance and renovations, right? Next credit. The objective is to reduce the environmental harm from the materials used in buildings and renovations. Establishment none. Performance. Product option 1. Products and materials. Here again, purchase at least 50% by cost. Before we have seen 25% and 75%, right? But here it is 50% by cost of the total maintenance and renovation materials that must meet at least the products that are specified in EMMA prerequisite facilities maintenance and renovation policy.
One question, to meet the 50%, 75% or 25%, you should first calculate or analyze the data of last 2-3 years, how much we are purchasing in each category. Then only we can, and after analyzing of data, we can go to reduce and achieve that efficiency percentage.
Correct.
So it's a journey of few years.
Correct.
Right.
Because you cannot implement immediately, right?
Yeah.
Include products specified in materials and resources, again prerequisite, where FM and renovation policy, there is no minimum scope of renovation or new construction work required for eligibility of the credit, and each purchase can receive credit for each criterion that is met. What are the different criteria? One is recycled content, second one is wood products, third one bio-based materials, fourth one is material reuse. When you say recycled content, it is the sum of post-consumer recycled content plus 1/2 of the pre-consumer recycled content. It is the sum of post-consumer recycled content plus 1/2 of the pre-consumer recycled content.
Recycled content is the sum of post-consumer recycled content plus 1/2 the
half of the pre-consumer means one full portion of post-consumer plus half of pre-consumer.
Why is
means
that?
If you
Pre-consumer means is like the waste which like a product which I took it
you
and
forgot
or
byproduct that is released.
Byproduct.
ash, unused newspapers and all that.
Okay.
Wood products must be certified by the FSC certified or USGBC approved equivalent. Bio-based materials, again, it goes with bio-based products must meet the Sustainable Agriculture Network Sustainable Agriculture Standard, where bio-based raw materials must be tested. ASTM test method of D6866 defined by exporting and receiving country, where material reuse includes salvaged, refurbished or reused products. Extended producer responsibility, products purchased from a manufacturer that participates in extended producer responsibility program and is directly responsible for extended producer responsibility, where products valued at 50% of their cost. And green screen 1.2 benchmark version. This is with respect to the chemical ingredients. Products that have been fully inventoried chemical ingredients to 100 ppm that have no benchmark 1 hazard. If any ingredients are assessed with green screen list translator, means when there is a chemicals, whatever the chemicals you are using in your facility, right, that has to meet this green screen thing, like the cleaning of floors, cleaning of glass, anything.
Yeah.
So all
Green
that must have a green screen certificate.
Green certificate means this is safe for the environment to use this cleaning product or this raw material.
Yeah, that is a third party agency which will certify that this product is certified under version 1, version 1.2, 2.1, like that. If all ingredients are having undergone a full green screen assessment, these products have to be assessed at 150 of the cost, 150% of the cost. Okay. So cradle to cradle certified, end use products are certified cradle to cradle, which means products will be valued at cradle to cradle V2 gold, 100% of cost, cradle to cradle V2 platinum, 150% of cost, cradle to cradle V3 silver, 100% of cost, cradle to cradle V3 gold or platinum, 150% of the cost. See here, when you look at V2 gold and silver of V3, 100%, whereas platinum,
What is
V2
basically
and V3 of gold
V3
and
and
platinum, it is 150%.
what is V2, V3 and what
Versions, version.
versions? Okay.
Like now, lead, which rating system are you doing? Version 4, right?
Yeah, version 4.
But before that, we have version 3, version 2, version 1.
Okay. So
Like
these
that, in
both
cradle to
versions
cradle is
are
also
applicable at
certification.
the same time. Sorry.
That is also certification, basically.
Okay. So 100% credit to credit version to gold, 100% of cost.
Yes. In your calculations, you will be using that.
And use products are certified.
There is a formula which you need to follow that. And based on the materials which you are using, this will be taken under that percentage calculations. If you refer lead GA or I think BD plus C, we will be discussing about those formulas and all that. But that is more into detail. First, if you understand the outline part of it, right, concept, then when you're working on any particular project, you can work on it.
Right.
International Alternative Compliance Path, ACP. It is a reach optimization. What is this reach? End use products and materials that do not contain substances that meet reach criteria for substance for every high concern. Again, reach is another kind of certification like cradle to cradle or any other things. If the product contains no ingredients listed on the reach authorization or candidate list, value it at 100% of the cost. Now, the ninth point is product manufacture supply chain optimization. What is this? Again, these are again products that are sourced from product manufacturers who engage in validated and robust safety, health, hazard, and risk programs. Again, which means that the suppliers are having all these kind of certifications. Okay. Which at a minimum document of at least 99% by weight of the ingredients used to make the building product or building materials. And these products are to be sourced from product manufacturers with independent third-party verification of the supply chain.
For example, we are making construction products. Okay.
Yes.
Construction chemical products.
Yes.
waterproofing, sealants, and all this kind of thing. So it
Yes.
means as a manufacturer, we should validate our products that it should be at least 99% of ingredients used to make the building products and materials.
There are different levels of validation. One is you internally do the testing, you prove it, and then you validate to yourself, right?
No,
Where it doesn't,
what
where
is
it
this
doesn't
validation for? Means it validate what?
validate with respect to this one only: safety, health hazard, and risk.
And risk. Okay,
Yes,
that will cover basically MSDS of that product.
correct.
Because now I am asking, I made some of the safety data sheets, which is
Okay.
called TDS before, technical data sheet. So now it's safety data sheets. So
Yes,
without any softwares, we made it. In that, I came to know, okay, what's the health hazard with respect to all the raw materials we are using to make that particular product.
correct.
Now we bought a software called CamTrack.
Okay,
CamTrack, you just put the formulation in a way, like for example, any product A
okay.
consists four raw materials B, C, D, E on equal percentage, let's suppose 25% each, all accumulate together becomes 100% of product A.
Yes,
So according to the all raw materials, the health hazard and risk will come for that particular product.
correct. Yes.
So for that we are using one software CamTrack. So
Okay. That
yeah,
software, what it will detail, it will give you the complete details. Like if you input the material, raw material details.
the raw material as a manufacturer, we have to put the raw material percentages in that
Okay.
composition. So on the
Okay.
basis of that composition, it will generate a material safety data sheet which will cover all this topic, health, hazard, and risk regarding to that particular product.
Okay. Okay. It's
So
a good one.
I link that thing with that. So I'm just trying to understand when as a purchaser, if anybody is purchasing and want to optimize the supply chain, should go for that product which is 99% by weight is covers this all three factors
Yeah.
or safer.
Yes. 99% by weight of the product has to meet this requirement.
Because this no any chemical product is 100% safer.
Again, these products are sourced from product manufacturers
Mm.
with independent third party verification of their supply chain at a that minimum, which verifies processes that are in place to communicate and transparently prioritize chemical ingredients along the supply chain according to available hazard, exposure, and use of information to identify those that require more detailed evaluation. Processes that are in place to identify, document, and communicate information on health, safety, and environmental characteristics of chemical ingredients. Again, processes that are placed in order to manage. One is you're identifying, second one you're documenting it, third you're communicating it, and fourth you're managing it. Okay. Now processes are in place to optimize health safety, again environmental impacts when designing and improving the chemical ingredients, again communicate, receive, and evaluate, again safety and stewardship information about the chemical ingredients publicly available from all points along the supply chain. This is what I was looking, supply chain we call that, sustainable supply chain products.
Now most of the companies they are trying to do that, but it's not easy because, like for example, if we do make some product, we do purchase a raw material. That raw material has this each raw material. For example, if we use four raw materials, the four raw materials should have this, and then we will make one product. That product will go to somebody as a raw material or a finished good. So that whole life cycle assessment of that particular product or a supply chain, that
Yeah.
assessment in this category is very difficult.
Yeah, it is not easy task. So now 9
Very
points we have
difficult.
covered. 10th one is low
Yeah,
emissions of volatile organic compounds. VOCs we call that, right?
VOCs.
Yeah.
That also covers under this what
Materials,
we say.
because materials are the ones which are releasing this VOCs, correct?
Yeah. That we do monitor through this air quality monitoring during
Correct.
production.
The
And in
following products must either be inherently non-emitting or be tested and determined compliant in accordance with California CDPH,
CDPH.
California Department of Public Health Standard Method version V1.1 2010 using applicable exposure scenarios. What is that? Thermal and acoustic insulation. These are the materials that will release this VOCs.
Mhm.
Flooring material and finishes, ceiling material and finishes, and wall material and finishes. It is classified under these 4 categories. Now, when we say VOC content requirements for wet applied products, what is this? When you're using any putty or any kind of wet products, right? In
Right.
addition to meeting the general requirements of VOC emissions, on-site wet applied products must contain excessive levels of, must not contain, see this, it must not contain the excessive levels of VOCs for the health of the installers and
Right.
other trade workers who are exposed to these products. If you
Mhm.
remember, I know one of the technician who worked with glass wool, I think.
Yeah, glass wool.
Yeah, and he died of
Basically, a
lung
rock
cancer.
wool which nurses this.
Rock wool, sorry, rock wool,
Yeah.
glass wool, all these things, right?
Yeah.
And he died of lung cancer actually at a very young age.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
You,
Those days,
was he
the
working
company,
in the manufacturing unit of that?
no, 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 no. This guy, how I know, he is working. These people, they work day and night, right? Along with it, without proper protection and all this, right?
Yeah, masks and
So
all.
over a period of time, he was affected innocently. Recently, someone told me this. I don't.
But it means his exposure would be too high.
Yes, yes. These are very dangerous. People will not be aware unless they face it. Disclosure of,
We do use rock wool insulation for
you have to
the,
be very careful, right?
yeah. So that what we do, we like this rock. There is a company for rock wool.
Yeah.
They
Frock,
do
yes.
supply. If it touch to your hand and all, you will get immediately irritation because it has a crushed that glass kind of stuff in that.
Correct. Yeah. Fiber kind of a thing. Yeah.
So it immediately you get that. So while installing, because it comes in the pieces, like for example, if a pipe you are taking for pipe, so it will come in a pipe shape. You just put it, and on the top of it, you do that cladding with the sheet. Roll over
Correct.
the sheet on the top and just rivet it. That's
Correct.
called. So in the buildings they do use the insulation for for the thermal thing. So
Chilled
building,
water lines and all that, no?
yeah, for the that front facade you are telling that building facade is called, right?
That is thermal envelope, we call it.
Yeah, thermal envelope.
No,
For that
but there
we
they
use
don't
this
use this.
insulation.
They use different materials are there. They don't use this one for that.
Different insulations.
That is different installations.
Right.
So on-site applied products must not contain excessive levels of VOCs for the health of the installers and other trade workers who are exposed to these products. To demonstrate a compliance, a product or layer must meet the following requirements. What is it? Disclosure of VOC content must be made by the manufacturer, and
Mhm.
all paints and coatings wet applied on site must meet the applicable VOC limits of CARB, California Air Resource Board
Mhm.
suggested control measures SCM for architectural coatings or South Coast Air Quality Management District. Rule number 1113 effective June 3, 2011. All adhesives and sealants wet applied on site must meet the applicable chemical content requirements of SCAD. Again, SEAQMD,
Mhm.
July 1, 2005 adhesive and sealant applications as analyzed by the method rule of 1168 and the provisions of SCAMD rule 1168 do not apply to adhesives and sealants. Here, what is it? This rule is not applicable for adhesives and sealants after.
Applied adhesive sealant subject to state of federal consumer product use regulation.
Subjected to state or federal consumer production VOC regulations. Means if this is connected to this, that is not applicable. Yeah. For projects outside North America, all paints, coatings, adhesives, and sealants wet applied on site must either meet the technical requirements of above regulations or comply with applicable national VOC control regulations such as European Deco Paint Directive, the Canadian VOC concentration limit for architectural coatings, or Hong Kong Air Pollution Control VOC regulations. There are regulations from across the globe.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
the
we are
problem.
doing, we are talking about North America, outside North America, and we are talking about European, Canadian,
Canadian,
and
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. So which portion is left out? Only Asia.
Only our countries, Southeast Asia.
Even Southeast Hong Kong is from there on,
Yeah, but mostly like we are the more than 18% of population of the world.
Correct. If the applicable regulation requires subtraction of exempt compounds, any content of intentionally added exempt compounds larger than 1% weight by mass must be disclosed. What is happening? If the applicable regulation requires a subtraction of exempt means if you need an exemption, any content of intentionally added exempt compounds larger than 1% by mass must be disclosed. Means you need to declare very clearly telling that this is what we have exempted, which is more than 1% of it. If the product cannot reasonably be tested under specified testing of VOC content, it must comply ASTM standard of D2369-10 or ISO 11890 part 1 of ASTM, D6860603 or ISO 11890-2. So this is all you need to read 2-3 times to remember.
Right.
For projects in North America, methylene chloride and perchloroethylene may not be intentionally added in paints, coatings, adhesives, or sealants. All this is under point number 11.
Just want to stop here. How many slides more are there? I think if it's 30/25 are there today, I'm now full actually.
Only 15 more slides. We'll finish. It's almost finishing.
Okay. Because now
low emissions of formaldehyde.
Okay.
I will summarize it. That is better, I think, right?
Yeah.
Low emissions of formaldehyde. Again, you need to meet again. This is formaldehyde comes from the joinery part of it. Wooden work and all this. Okay. Architectural elements, especially the joinery. Okay. Again, here you talk about the low formaldehyde emissions part of it. Again, where you need to feed, you need to meet the California CRB, California Air Resource Board requirements. Again, for ULF, that is ultra low emitting formaldehyde part, or you must not have any formaldehyde in the materials, raw materials that are used. Okay. Then USGBC approved program, again, this meets the leadership extraction criteria, means this will say that the organization is meeting the requirement. Again, manufacturing the product within 100 miles or 160 kilometers from the project site. They are valued at 200% of the base contributing cost. Till now, whatever we discussed is option 1. There are how many points? 13 points are there under this. Now coming to option 2, which is furniture, you will get 1 point, where you purchase it again 75% of the cost, that is total furniture and furnishings. Okay. Where it is recycled content, we have seen that post-consumer and pre-consumer. Wood products, again FSC certified wood. Bio-based materials, it is Sustainable Agriculture Network, Agriculture Standard, ASTM Standard D6866. Material reuse, it is salvaged, refurbished or reused products. Whereas extended producer responsibility, this is what I was telling you. products purchased from the manufacturer that participates in an extended producer responsibility program is directly responsible for the extended producer responsibility, where products are valued at 50% of their cost. What does this mean? Means it is once the supplier supplies the product and the client uses, the customer uses the material, and once its useful life is done, right? And still the supplier has the responsibility in order to take care of that material, that is buy back the material or remove that material and take it for recycling or for any other purposes. Then green screen 1.2, it is the same thing. If the ingredients are assessed under this, products are valued at 100%. If all the ingredients have undergone full green screen assessment, then it is 150% of the cost. Cradle to cradle again, V2 gold 100%, platinum 150, silver 100, gold and platinum 150. This is for furniture. Okay, so that is why. Same thing, international alternative compliance path, again 100% of the cost reach. Product manufacture supply optimization. This is for building products, again value at 99%. Okay. Again, products that are sourced from manufacturers, independent third-party verification. This is again talking about the communication, transparent prioritization of chemical ingredients, identifying, documenting, and communication with respect to health, safety, and environmental characteristics. Coming to 9, product manufacture supply chain optimization. Here we talk about the processes to implement the measures to optimize the HSC, that is health, safety, and environment. Processes to communicate the receive and evaluate the chemical ingredients, safety and stewardship information with respect to chemical ingredients. Now coming to low emissions of VOCs, this is again we talk about ANSI and BIFMA standard. This is again with respect to the furniture, right? BIFMA stands for again with respect to furniture sustainability standards. Again for classroom furniture, you go with CDPH, California Department of Standard, yes. USGBC 200%. Now solid waste management, it is ongoing again. 2 points you get it. Here to reduce the waste that is generated by building occupants and haul to and disposed of in landfills and incinerators.
Can you give me a 5-minute break?
Okay.
Okay, I will join.
So here it is about to reduce the waste that is generated by building occupants and hauled to and disposed of in landfills and incinerator. What is that? Basically, we have to work on diversion of waste from landfill. Okay, diverting it from landfill. Okay. Performance, maintain a waste reduction and recycling program at least 50% or at least 20%, 1 point, 40%, 2 points for multifamily of the ongoing waste, that is for under prerequisite ongoing purchasing and waste policy by weight or volume. If it is 75%, that is for the durable goods.
Yeah, but in buildings, normally, for example, any building, people are throwing their garbage in the discharge chute, and there is no segregation in that.
And that is what now the policies principles are coming. No, slowly they will keep segregating this. They will be implementing all these things.
Yeah, because if they have to segregate, they have to segregate by the company who is collecting. Government is collecting, right?
Yes, correct.
So they have to segregate by themselves.
Yeah. Again, in addition, safely dispose what discarded batteries, mercury containing lamps. These two things. Yeah. Then coming to schools, from KG to 12 schools, exclude food waste from the final performance calculation. See here, food waste is excluded from the final calculations of the total building waste stream by meeting food waste composting services that are not available in the region or not economically feasible based on the school or district operation budget for solid waste management. Now, coming to the solid waste management, again, during the performance period, implement an awareness program that encourages occupants to reduce food waste. Complaint program should include 2 of the following. What is it? Signage in food service and cafeteria areas, food service employee training on reducing waste in food preparation, and selecting menu options to reduce the potential for food waste. Extracurricular activities or student organizations that promote awareness of environmental benefits. What is it again with composting of food waste? If you remember in schools, they already started teaching students of how to compost food waste.
Yes.
The last credit, it is solid waste management, that is facility maintenance and renovation. In this, to divert construction, renovation and demolition debris from disposal in landfill and incinerators, recover and recycle usable materials. What it talks again, establishment we have already covered in the prerequisite. Now we are talking about the performance. Here we have to divert 70% of the waste, again by weight or volume, that is generated by facility maintenance, that is during renovation, from the disposal in landfills or incinerator. Means from these two aspects we have to divert it, that is 70% of the waste by weight or by volume. Include the base building
We have to
elements.
avoid the incinerator also.
Yes, because the last but one option is incinerator. Exclude furniture and furnishings that pose human health concerns, again, as well as components not considered base building elements, that is mechanical, electrical, MEP equipments, as I said, again elevators.
Yeah.
With this we are done with this chapter, and now we need to go to the next chapter, that is indoor environmental quality.
How many chapters are there basically in that?